Good morning, everybody. My name's Pete. You are listening to IPL Radio, and wherever you are, I hope, if you're in Perth, I hope you have your flippers, your snorkel and your goggles, because you're certainly going to need it at the moment. You can probably hear a bit of background noise. We're not in the studio today. We're broadcasting from the Salvation Army Centre in Wilmot Avenue in Cooling Up here, the Salvation Army Centre Rockingham, as it's, I guess, best known as. And there is an event on here today. I'm looking around from our broadcast desk, and there is a homelessness expo on today at the Salvation Army Centre here in Rockingham, and there's a whole bunch of service providers that work in the field of homelessness and helping people around the local area. There are some people here having breakfast and things like that who are obviously regular users of the Salvation Army Centre, and I've already talked to a couple of people who have told me about sleeping rough and having a hard time, and it's certainly going to be an eye-opening experience for myself and our IPL radio folks here today. So stay with me, and we're going to have a very interesting morning. I'm going to talk to a whole bunch of people and interview them and have a few chats this morning, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for listening. Good morning, you're listening to IPL Radio here. We are doing a live outside broadcast today, and we've got people all around us and having a chat. How are you there today, mate? And we're also live on Facebook at the moment, and hello everybody who's watching us there on our live feed on Facebook. So I'm on video and on the airwaves. Now, we are at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham, which is in Wilmot Avenue, Cooling Up here. We have a homelessness expo that we're doing an outside broadcast at, which is really exciting. There's lots of people here. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about homelessness, and or you're doing it a bit tough at the moment and you're listening in, come down to the Salvation Army Centre here at Wilmot Avenue at Cooling Up. There are stands, there are service providers who can offer you some help today. I've already had a walk around, and there's people and organisations who can help. There's some things you can pick up here, everything from sleeping bag to dog or cat food to a new toothbrush and some toiletries, as well as a new pair of socks. So there's something here. If you're doing it a bit tough, come down to Salvation Army Centre at Cooling Up, and we'll try and say good day, and you can get a bit of help if you're doing it tough. And if you're not, just stay indoors, stay cool, and listen to some good music. Other than that, I'll see you shortly. I think that's it for Facebook. Now we've got a song coming up. What are we going to listen to here? Oh, Kylie Minogue, and Can't Get You Out of My Head. Yes, Kylie. Back again with IPL Radio at the Salvation Army Centre, Rockingham here today. Now, this morning I am here with the captain of the centre, Daryl. And good morning, Daryl. How are you there?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah.
Daryl, can you tell us a little bit more about, more broadly, what you do here as the captain, and your wife Chelsea as well, as you just said, and the services and the outreach that you provide, and then maybe a bit more about what the purpose of today is, please.
Yeah, so this centre was built in 2015, so it's 7 years ago, and but we've been operating in Rockingham for close to 50 years, and Salvation Army looks to meet human need however we can. So in this centre we try to really connect people with each other, to have a healthy community, and also to connect people to the services that they might need for support. Yeah.
What are some of those services that people need?
Financial counselling, emergency relief, case management, counselling, alcohol and drug treatment. There's a whole range of things that we do, just to try and, like I say, surround people with the services that can partner together and really help build capacity in them. Yeah.
And there's a whole raft of people here today, and it's a homelessness expo and community get-together. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so today is a homeless awareness event. Homeless Awareness Week was last week, so we missed out running something on that week, but this is in recognition of that. And obviously homelessness is close to the heart of Salvation Army, but there's also 20 other organisations here, about 20 others, who are just coming to, I suppose, offer a holistic support to people and just to raise awareness of homelessness in our city.
Now, anyone who lives in Perth at the moment knows the weather has just been absolutely horrible. What would it be like being homeless in this sort of weather and living rough?
Oh, it'd be awful. As I'm sleeping in my bed, and 2 o'clock in the morning might be woken by stormy weather and rain. And my mind just goes to these guys that are sleeping rough in a tent or even in a swag or just out in the open. I just think it'd be terrible to be out in this weather. And we've had a pretty cold winter and a pretty wet winter. And my heart just goes out to these guys, and we just want to help.
Are there any numbers in the local area on how many might be sleeping rough or in need of help?
Yeah, so Salvation Army's part of Project Zero, yep. And so it's a multi-agency approach. There's other agencies as well that are part of that, and so we have a common database that we share called the by name list, and there's over 100 people on the list. And that's just the people we've captured, and so we try to capture everyone. It doesn't always work out like that, but I would say over 100 people. Yeah,
that's a huge number of people that are in need, and the Salvation Army and the other agencies are doing a wonderful job, and thank you for that. Now, I look around here, and it's a busy day, and there's all the organisations here with a table up and helping, offer their services to people and stuff. But I look the other way, and there's a kitchen and a dining area and stuff. What happens here day to day, Daryl? Can you tell me?
Yeah, so we're open as a drop-in centre on Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday. And we're just offering food to people. Like I talked about before, trying to build community, and I think a lot of that happens around food. And coffee, obviously these days, teas and coffees. So we just, anyone can come in, have a snack, have lunch, and so that's what the kitchen's about. It's mostly filled with volunteers who come and give their time. We have an op shop. We have a whole range of things that we have here to try and build that community. And
How big is your volunteer army?
So we currently have 70 plus active volunteers throughout the week. So the heart of people to give back to the community is amazing, and I'm really blessed to be able to see that. I'm not a volunteer, but for people to give their time and just want to build up our community, it's just amazing, and we try to facilitate that.
Whenever these volunteers who are probably working here today, many of them and everything, if they ever get to see this interview, thank you very much for all your help on behalf of everybody that you do help, and on behalf of Daryl, I'm sure too, but he probably tells you every day. The world really does run on volunteering, doesn't it? I'm a volunteer radio announcer, giving a little bit of time, and have done with other organisations doing all different sorts of things. So thank you to the Volleys, and what a great job you can do. Now, Daryl, people coming in as a drop-in centre and having a cup of coffee or a bit of food or grabbing something that they might need, is that often a catalyst and a point to start a conversation as how you're going, what do you need, and services? Is that how it works, or how do people reach out for help?
Yeah, so usually what would happen is people might come in with an immediate need, just to say, I need food, or I need this bill paid, or my rent's due. Does this immediate presenting need? Yeah. And so that really is a catalyst to start a conversation about how can we help you long term, how can we address some of the things that are deeper. And so we talk about doorway services like the emergency relief, like food relief and bills and stuff. It's just a doorways into a wider network of support. And so that's our philosophy, and I know a lot of agencies think like that.
That's fantastic. So, look, I think it's going to be a great event here today. I can see people walking around, and there's socks being picked up and sleeping bags taken away, and pamphlets for services, and dog and cat food, and all of those sorts of things. I talk about the dog and cat food and everything like that, and I'm going to go and have a chat with the folks who are helping in that front there. Pets are really important to everybody. How important is a pet to a homeless person?
Well, when you think of the isolation of, often some of the struggles that people have experiencing homelessness, then to have a pet there that's it can be a best friend. It can be company, and everyone. Dog is man's best friend, right? So. Yeah.
Could it be the only being in the world that provides unconditional love? And that goes for all of us, not just for someone who's homeless.
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at how people love their pets. Like I walk my dog around, and I see the joy on people's faces, and you think if that's the only thing you've got, the only relationship that's really valuable, I suppose, then a pet can become really just a huge security. Yeah.
Now, you talked about a dog here. Now, when I do my interviews in the studio and people mention their dogs, I have to ask what sort of a dog it is. Can you tell me?
Yes, I can. A French dog. What are they called?
One of those French...
Bichon Frise. Yeah. So George is named.
Are they a fur ball?
He can be, but we try to get him cut quite regularly. But the hair grows pretty quick, but they don't shed hair, which is what I love, because we don't have it all over our cow.
So no allergies and no fur balls around the place.
He's an active dog. We always know when someone is at the door. Yeah.
Cool. That's the sort of dog you want. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for all the work you do with the Salvation Army, Daryl, and great talking with you, and we'll probably talk again very shortly. Thanks very much.
Wonderful, thank you.
There we go, that's Daryl, the Salvation Army captain here at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham, having a bit of a chat, telling us some of the things, the great work that the Salvation Army does here and all across the country, actually. A fantastic organisation. And there are a whole other bunch of fantastic organisations here today reaching out to folks who may be in need and who would benefit from some of their services. I'm going to get around to some of those, or hopefully all of those, and have a chat very shortly. But let's have a bit of music now with Imagine Dragons and Believer. Oh, hi there, welcome back. You are listening to IPL Radio. We are doing an outside broadcast this morning from the Salvation Army Centre in Rockingham, which is in Wilmot Avenue, cooling up. Now, if you're in need of some services, you're doing it a bit tough, I don't know whether that'll be sleeping rough or just struggling to pay the rent or having a few hassles, come down and join us. There are lots of people here who may be able to help, or you can reach out to and they can refer you to the right people. We've just heard from Daryl, the captain of the Salvation Army group here at Rockingham, and the wonderful job that they do. Very soon I'll be going through and talking with a whole bunch of different people who provide all sorts of different services and just stuff that you might need if you're doing it a bit tough. So come down and see us. In the meantime, let's hear from John Lennon, Imagine. Okay, we're on. You're listening to IPL Radio here. It's Pete from Pete's Talk and Music, but we are here at the Rockingham Salvation Army Centre here today and at the Homelessness Expo. Now, I'm standing behind a desk that has a big sign on it saying Vinnie's WA, and I'm standing beside Vera from Vinnie's WA. Now, that's got a great ring to it, Vera, and I was just saying to you that was my grandmother's name as well, so I already feel close. Vera, can you tell me, I guess, what you're trying to do here today, and what does Vinnie's WA do? Although you're a very familiar name, I get that, but let's hear it from you.
Sure, no worries. So Vinnie's just changed the name recently, actually, to Vinnie's from St. Vincent de Paul, which got a really nice ring to it. I think. So Vinny's the good works. I am personally doing financial counselling in the Rockingham area, but we're also doing food and emergency relief and food, and also we have the shops, which is really good because it's not as expensive and people can just go there and buy cheaper clothes. We are based in Rockingham in Livingston Road, and I work full-time as a financial counsellor, and emergency relief is also based in the same building. Emergency relief is helping with some bills and like I said, food or food hampers.
Now, Vera, you deal with financial counselling. Now, what does that involve? I guess there's probably no typical person comes to you, but what sort of a variety of folks might come to you and reach out for help?
So one case is never the same. It's always different. It doesn't matter if they're business people or people from the vulnerable side of it. We deal with debts, mortgages, mostly debts. We did utility bills. We try to do the budget and get people out of debt, and we have been really successful with that. We also deal with mortgages because when COVID hit, everything went on hold. Now everything comes off hold, and now people need to catch up with their bills, which can be quite difficult at times, depending on their income.
Just say everything's going along okay, and all of a sudden you lose your job. How quickly can people get into trouble from losing their job and having commitments?
Once you can't pay your mortgage, you're already in trouble. The bank will just send you letters after letters, and then it is time to actually act into something about that. Utility bills the same. If you can't pay your utility bills, unfortunately the utility companies, not all of them are very compassionate. Some are more than others, but we can help with payment arrangements and put them on financial hardship, and we do stuff like that.
So Vinnie's and particularly you would know some ins and outs of how to deal with the banks and some of those companies, and how to not how to get around things, but how to deal with them. I guess better than most. Is that a fair description of how you might deal with them?
Well, yes. The financial counsellors all have dedicated phone numbers. Really, we can ring, and we might be able to get quicker in than an ordinary person, because the letterhead gives it away that we're working for an institution or an organization, and we do everything in writing. I don't do anything over the phone. I do everything in writing with emails or letters.
Well, it's like they say, if it ain't read, it ain't said. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, I look around on your table here, and there's a flyer. I'll just reach over and grab it. There's a flyer that says, join us Friday the 9th of September for Vinnie's Tough Night Out. Do you know anything about that? Can you tell us some more? Or are you going to read the pamphlet for me?
So we just had a big sleep out, actually. This must be a second one. I don't know. I don't know anything.
Well, let's have a read of this. It says, raise funds and have a tough night out to help young people sleeping rough on the streets of Perth. So,
Passages Youth Engagement.
Passages Youth Engagement Hubs are a joint venture between Vinnie's WA and Rotary Clubs of Perth and Mandurah. Yep. So there's a joint effort through the Passages Youth Engagement Hubs for what's called the Tough Night Out. So if you Google Vinnie's Tough Night Out, you'll find something there. Vera, thank you very much for talking with me this morning, and thank you for the wonderful work that you do with Vinnie's. And folks, if anyone's listening there and you're doing it a bit tough in the finance department, I reckon come and see Vera. She'll be a wealth of knowledge. Oh, Vera's got something else for us. Here we go.
So just ring the helpline 1-800-007-007, and they can put you in touch with a financial counsellor in your area.
Vera, can you give us that number again?
1-800-007-007.
So that's 1-800 and James Bond twice. How does that sound? Vera, thanks very much for talking with me today, and we'll catch you later on. You are back with IPL Radio. We're at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham here. Now, I've got a very special guest to have a chat with here. We've got Jermaine, and she is one of the folks here today who's using the services of the Salvation Army Centre, and we're going to have a bit more of a chat and unpack some of her life and say good day. How are you there, Jermaine?
Good day. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. A little bit cold, but getting there.
It is a bit cold, and we were just having a bit of a chat before we came on air and everything like that. Can you tell me a bit more about your current situation and how you're going and how you got there?
Well, my current situation, I've been staying with a friend of mine who I've known for years, but we're not getting on so well. It's been a bit uncomfortable, so unfortunately I'm having to move out into a tent. I'd rather live in a tent because I'm not very good at getting on with strangers, especially these days, because of my mental illness. I suffer from anxiety and severe depression. I do take medication for it, so it does make me feel a bit brighter, but in weather like this is a bit daunting that I'm going to have to go and pitch a tent somewhere and hopefully don't get moved on every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that could be a situation. Now, you said you've been you're about to be homeless again. Now, you tell us your situations before this and where you've been sleeping rough and things like that.
Well, basically, since I turned 40, I left my husband and. I've basically been homeless since then. I've had a few houses, and I've.
How long ago was that, Jermaine?
8 years ago. 8 years ago. Look, I have been given a Homes West house about 4 years ago, but I couldn't live there. It was the people that that reside in there was a lot of drug addicts and a lot of alcoholics, and there was a lot of violence. And I was on my own in the unit. I couldn't cope, and I had a lot of Aboriginals that were, threatening me, so to speak, and using me, using my home. And in the end, I just threw them the keys and I ran away. So
you didn't feel safe?
No, I didn't feel safe at all. Even after they changed the locks and everything, I didn't feel safe.
Is that a common issue in people that get put into housing and things like that?
Yes, it has been for a lot of people. I've recently had a few friends that have come out of Homes West units because they were in the same situation. They were being threatened. A lot of these units that they put people in have got major problems, mental health, alcoholism, drugs. And it's all there, and it's in your face, and it's really hard for someone who's trying to, make a fresh start and get off the drugs and alcohol. It was a nightmare. It really was a nightmare.
So, 8 years ago, a catalyst, I guess, for your the start of your troubles was leaving your husband. What happened? Did you just have nowhere to go, or?
No, I did. I mean, I had a house when I split from my husband for a while, but I was in a relationship with someone that wasn't right, so I just moved on and went and lived with my sister, and whilst my mum was in England nursing, because my grandmother died a few years back as well. I haven't had a lot of luck because my husband died 3 years ago, and I hit rock bottom for a little while, but the Salvation Army and other crew like Owen Farmer's group have if without them I'd probably be dead, So
it's those sort of services that have sustained you and helped you and things like that. Now, when we're having a quick chat before coming on air, you mentioned some battles that you had with drugs.
Yeah.
Tell us more, and how are you going with that?
It's very difficult. I managed to stay on the straight and narrow. Alcohol's the problem for me. It's the biggest problem. But I've been going to AA meetings here. I've missed the last couple of weeks because I had a bit of a cold and I thought I'd better stay home with COVID and everything.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Now I've just got the snivels. It's just the cold. Yeah.
So is that part of something here at the Salvation Army? Is AA?
Yeah, they do AA's here every single Wednesday from 12 o'clock till about 1 o'clock, and they're a really good group. You know, I've been in some AA groups before, like in the city and that, and you don't feel welcome. You sort of feel, you know. But this one, they make you feel very welcome. And
that's great. So, you know, I was talking with Daryl, the captain here, a short while ago, and some of the services that they provide. Now, you talk about your sort of imminent move to potentially a tent. Are there some groups here today that you might be able to have a chat with that could help you out with some emergency accommodation, do you think, or you're not sure?
Emergency accommodation is few and far between. It's as rare as rocking horse poo-poo, you know, so to speak. No, because there's so many people in the same boat at the moment, and they'll give priority to women and children or men and children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even bother trying anymore with emergency accommodation because it doesn't normally end. And I'm quite happy to go in the tent for a while, and it looks like I might be travelling with my sister. I'll be her carer down south, but she wants to go dwelling up. So yeah, hopefully.
Well, that's a nice part of the world, but it's pretty chilly at night there in dwelling up at the moment. Can't you wait till summer?
We're going to have to cuddle up together, my sister and I. So yeah.
Yeah. That's you know, that's an amazing story, Jermaine. And what would you say, you know, in terms of the Salvation Army and the other organisations here? You said they've really saved you. Do they do that for a lot of people?
Absolutely. I mean, there's times when I've come in here and I'm like, oh my, save me, Jesus, please save me, because I am religious. Yeah. But I haven't been that far down in quite a number of years, but they're always here. You know, Daryl's always got a smile, Chelsea's always got a smile for you, and I've never asked for much from them, really. You know, occasionally I'll get a food hamper, or I've asked for, you know, assistance with my medication once, you know, and, you know, I haven't asked for large amounts or anything like that. They're just here as a social, as a comfort thing as well. Without this drop-in centre, I think, you know, the homeless would be,
It's a tough situation. How do you survive? How do you eat and sustain yourself from day to day?
Basically, the Salvation Army provide, you know, food for us most days, warm food, toasted sandwiches. On Mondays, they've got the crew that run always a lovely feed. And you know, the only day they're closed during the week is on Thursday. So, you know, there's heaps of other groups like I think it's Anglicare, who Monday, Wednesday and Thursday mornings you can get food hampers off of them. I think they also help with prescriptions as well, stuff like that. And then you've got, I forget what the other one is. There's another one on near the cinema, near the Ace Cinema. I forgot what charity that is, but a few days a week you can get food parcel from them, and you can get like help with Nils loan or something like that, so you can, you know, buy something like washing machine or dryer, or get help with your car payments or something, you know. Yeah.
Well, Jermaine, thank you very much for talking with me this morning. Congratulations on your success so far with AA and trying to put that behind you, and we're glad that the Salvation Army can help out, and it's been wonderful to chat with you this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi there, we're coming live from the Salvation Army Centre in Rockingham, and as I look around the centre today for our outside broadcast, some of the services that we have here, I won't get to talk to all of them, our time is limited, but we've got the City of Rockingham and their community services. We've got the South Coast Babinga Mia group, Healing Smiles, who help out They're an all-female dental team providing dental care at no cost or reduced cost service to survivors of family and domestic violence. We've spoken with Vinnie's. We've got St Pat's, we've got Anglicare, we've got Keys. We've got lots of different service organisations here, Department of Communities. But I just had to duck outside there for a couple of minutes, and it's just amazing. From Anglicare, we've got the clothing van. It's called Thread Together. We've got the Freo Street Doctor. We've got Orange Sky, which is really a mobile laundry on wheels, and it is just amazing. So if there's a situation you're doing it a bit tough, you might need to understand the services that are available to help you out in the Rockingham region. Please come down to the Salvo Centre here in Wilmot Avenue, Coolingup, and say good day. And IPL Radio are here as well. So we'll talk to a few more people in just a minute. And we're back at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham, and I'm talking with Holly from Anglicare here. And I guess, really, what part of Anglicare are you involved with, Holly, and how are you here to help everyone today?
So I am in the housing program. So we have a team of about 10 case managers that are housing case managers. So we help people that have found themselves losing their rental, if you're sleeping rough in your car, or if you're a family that need housing. So we have a different team. So we have a couple of houses that we have available spread out across the state. We also just help build capacity around rentals, tips and tricks to get yourself a rental, and then just good to know good tips and tricks to know while you're in there. And we have other different programs that branch off. We have a bit of funding as well if you need a bit of assistance paying any rental arrears or bills that may be overdue. We have Threads Van, which gives out free clothes that we work closer with Salvos and Palmerston. So it varies.
Now, when you talk about housing, is that emergency housing or medium and long-term housing, or is it everything, all of the above?
It's all of the above. So usually we'll aim to try and find you some long-term housing, get you a long lease in a rental or Department of Housing house. But usually we'll aim for long-term so that we know you're secure and stable where you're living.
And how's the reception been here today? Have people been coming up and having a chat with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's not everyone knows how bad the housing crisis is at the moment. You don't think it affects your local community until you have events like this and people do pop up. A lot of people have been reaching out because it happens so quickly. Your lease can end and you can get 60 days notice, or, people sell houses like they are at the moment, and then, you're left with really expensive rentals that you can't afford. So it happens to a wide range of people, and it's good today to get all the services together and have a chat with everyone.
How much has the COVID situation exacerbated some of the issues around housing and lack of housing and that sort of environment?
It has made it very hard, especially when different services work from home, and some do, some don't. So sometimes it's very hard to go and look at house openings when there's only limits. It's hard to get people into the office when you got to wear masks, or you can or can't have people in. So it has made it difficult, but luckily it's all calming down now. So we've just gone fully back to face-to-face now, both housing and counselling, so it's a bit nicer. We get to actually meet people, go to home openings, talk with real estate, so it's really much easier now.
And Holly, how long have you been part of Anglicare and involved in the organisation?
I've been with Anglicare about 6 months now. Yeah, and so the rest of our team's been there a lot longer than me, a good couple of years, but it's a great organisation.
And what's your background? How did you come to a wonderful organisation like Anglicare?
I've always been in the community services, so services know one another, that's for sure. Used to work for Mission Australia, used to be more in youth and a bit of youth housing, and then I've always known Anglicare and always wanted to get into housing, and it's a crazy time right now, so I thought it'd be perfect to jump into it and make a difference. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Holly, thank you for being here today. Thank you for chatting with us, and thank you for the wonderful work that you do with Anglicare. and I'll throw back to the desk for a song. But I see Tris behind the desk is chatting with everybody, and here we go with some music. Thanks, Holly. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're here at the Salvation Army Centre here at Rockingham. I've wandered into the kitchen, and the first thing I was handed was a blue netting hat, and I'm looking here at the frantic service going on just as about lunch is going to happen, and the mass of absolutely delicious looking food here in front of me is just amazing. There's what looks like pulled pork or beef, coleslaw, pickles, bread rolls, fruit hampers, soup. There's everything. Now I'm just going to corner the chef here, and I'm Peter from IPL Radio. Can I ask your name?
Hi, I'm Nicole. How are you going?
Hi there, Nicole. Now you're the chef here in the kitchen. What have we got for lunch today?
So today we've got a pumpkin soup, and we've got a pulled pork burger with some dessert and fruit for afterwards.
That sounds fantastic, and it looks amazing. And I must say, if things are jumping about here, it's because we're actually in the middle of service, and it's very authentic here. How long have you been doing this chef work here, Nicole?
So I've been at Rockingham Salvos for about 2 years now, and yeah, it's just great being part of this community, serving those who need it, and yeah, it's just great to be here.
How many meals a day or a week would you prepare?
A few hundred, yeah. On Wednesdays we do like a hot lunch for everyone, and yeah, special events like this, we do a bit more catering for 100 people, yeah.
And you have volunteers to help you in the kitchen as well?
Yeah, so there's a group of about 6 of us or so. We're here a few days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, kind of Friday thing, and yeah, we get donations from Oz Harvest and Food Bank, and we make different menus every week for the community, and it's fun.
That's absolutely fantastic. I will get out of your way. I'll wander around and I'll say thank you to everybody. Thank you for all your work, and it looks absolutely fabulous here. Thank you for all your work. Thank you. And as I get out the door, I'll whip off the blue mesh hat. But thank you very much. You have a good afternoon. Thank you. Now I'm going to keep walking through the centre here, and they were very busy. They were very busy just a few minutes ago, but we have the Warnborough vets here, and they're flat out at the moment. So I might come back. I might come back in just a moment and have a chat with them. But I've got my blue hat still on. I might take that off, or they'll think I'm a bit strange. Let's have a bit more music. Okay, I tried to catch the vets before, but they were so busy. Now, I'm standing beside Tash from Warnborough Vet, and they're on one of the stands here today. And I was talking with Daryl, the Salvation Army captain here before, and we were talking about how important pets were to homeless people and things like that. Tash, tell me more. What are you guys doing here today? And I see you handing out lots of dog food and medications and things like that. Fill me in.
Yeah, so we're down here today giving out some, especially the flea and the wormers. We understand people in financial crisis. It is a costly, upkeep for their pets. So we're out there giving out as much as we can, food as well, and letting everyone know about the RSPCA desexing incentive that's going on at the moment. So if you're struggling and you want to get your animal desexed and microchipped, give the RSPCA a call and they will cover 75% of the bill.
That's fantastic. Now you had at the beginning of the morning you had a huge pile of dog and cat food and everything on your table here, and it's now gone. And I've seen a couple of dogs walking through with their owners and stuff like that. Tell me how important is a dog or an animal or a pet to a homeless person or someone that's struggling and doing it tough?
Oh, it's very important. I mean, these in times are their best friends, their rock. It's important to understand that these people rely on their pet for that companionship and get them through the hard times. So it's especially with the rental crisis at the moment as well, it's heartbreaking to see people having to choose between a home and a pet. It shouldn't have to be like that, I don't think.
That'd be very tough. Now, let's give a bit of a plug here for Warnbro Vet. You're obviously here today giving your time and product and things like that. Where are you guys located?
We are located on Safety Bay Road, 655. We normally say we're next to the Puma fuel station, the one that gives out the cheap fuel Tuesdays. So that's that's well known in the suburb.
And it's Tuesday, so fill up.
Yes. But that's where we are, and we've been there for the place has been there for about 30 years. So.
Do you have a website?
We do, yes. If you want to Google Warnbro Vet Hospital, you can check us out, or on Facebook as well.
Tash, that's wonderful. Thank you for Warnbro Vet for being here today, and thanks for chatting. All the best. Thank you. We're going to cut short there because we've got a very important interview issue. Got a very important interview with Hayley, one of our Rockingham councillors, and to have a chat. Good morning, Hayley. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Great to be here.
It is. What do you think of this event? It's fantastic. From my view, but how's it gone from a council and from your perspective?
Well, what is really important to me is that all these service providers come together in one location, so people that are struggling can come into one centre and have the multitude of services they have here to help them and guide them hopefully on their way, and refer them to other agencies to get support. So, you know, it's really good to have people come where the people are naturally coming to get food.
Now, there's a need for these services right across the state and the country, and things have been exacerbated in recent times with financial hardship and the COVID pandemic and things like that. I guess talking about Rockingham and the region in more detail, how much of an issue is it here?
Well, I think across the board, as specifically in Rockingham with the rental crisis now as well, and I know a lot of people are experiencing their rents going up, so I actually see the problem getting worse, to be completely honest. So that's why these events are so important, and I actually wish this could happen every week. So then we're capturing everyone that needs assistance, because they're not all going to come here today and reach out. So I think that's really important.
Well, it's been quite amazing the number of people in here today, and everybody I talk with on each of the different services and the stands say they're flat out. The number of people that are coming to talk with them and ask for help and reach out and things like that. Everything from housing to clothing to dog food. And how much do these services, I guess, help in the community and help the council?
Well, they help. They help our community. On various levels. I was actually quite shocked to see the vets here today giving out free pet food. That has something I'd never actually considered myself. About the welfare of people's pets, and I think it's those services that make us realise how much people struggle on the street, and there's all these multitudes of issues that they face. It's not just there's not somewhere safe to sleep, it's their dogs, it's their animals, it's trying to get access to services, it's food, it's going to the bathroom, small things that we take for granted, and people on the streets are just struggling to survive at the moment, and it's really it's worrying time.
It's tough, and I've just had a chat with Tash from Warnbro Vets, and she said one of the things at the moment is with the rental crisis, if you have a pet, sometimes it's a choice between somewhere to live and keeping your pet. What sort of a decision would that be for you?
It would be really hard. Well, funnily enough, last year we were lucky enough to be in a position to buy our first house last year. Before that, we're a double income family with a dog, and we found it really hard to get a home. So we have good jobs, good rental history, everything, and we struggled to get a rental property. So we were thinking, how hard would it be for someone on a single income with their animals? The animals are part of your family, and that needs to be a barrier that takes down, because my dog, my beautiful dog Pepper, she's our favourite child.
Nothing like the fur baby, is there?
She's actually our favourite child, so that is something that would be really hard.
Well, I asked Daryl before what sort of a dog they have now. What sort of a dog is yours?
She's a Kelpie Cross Lab.
So something that runs and eats?
Yes, pretty much. runs and eats, and she's actually a Kelpador, and she's very similar to that beautiful dog over there. Look very, very similar. So yeah, beautiful dogs.
Wonderful. Hayley, thank you for being here today. It's great to see the face of council and everyone here at the Salvation Army Centre, and for chatting with us. I know you've already talked with IPL Radio before, and we'll get you into the studio one day again soon, and we'll talk more and more broadly about what Rockingham Council is doing and how the community is working. So thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Oh, this is getting towards the final countdown with IPL Radio at the Salvation Army Centre here at Rockingham, or cooling up today. And we're just going to do a little closeout interview with the Salvation Army captain here, Daryl. How's it all gone today, mate?
Oh, today's been amazing. Like, to get all these organisations together in one room in one space is it's really valuable and an underrated, I suppose, resource to do that. But especially that you can help people, just wrap around them and meet their needs. I think it's amazing. Yeah.
It is, and all the different organisations I talk with say they have been just inundated with people asking about the services, and there have been some things like sleeping bags and socks and down to toothbrushes and combs, and they're all gone. So I guess that's indicative of a need for things like that. Just some of the basics, and if you're living rough, just some of the simple comforts are very well appreciated. Now, Daryl, this isn't something that is going to go away anytime soon. One day it would, hopefully, if we all lived in a perfect world. Where to from here after an event, a day like this?
Yeah, I think events are they're good, but these services are needed weekly and daily, and I just think for us as service providers, the partnerships are really crucial. Collaboration is one of our values, and I know a lot of organisations are talking about it, but actually making that happen is really important, because I think we have a lot of resources. Today shows it in our community. We have a lot of resources for people doing it tough. But it's that, okay, how do we work together, collaborate for the greater need of our community? Because I think if you lift up vulnerable people in the community, I think the whole community actually rises up, and I think becomes more healthy. Yeah.
Well, it's obviously been a great success today, so congratulations. It's a fantastic initiative. Now, Daryl, I see on the reception counter here at your centre a little sign that says PLP changes lives. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. That sign was put up by one of our workers, Rebecca Tavani, who's really passionate about PLP. It stands for Positive Lifestyle Program. She's a facilitator, and we've seen life change through the program. It's just basic life skills, really. 8 sessions, just teaching people, helping people to reflect on life, and how they can. I suppose it just builds capacity within those basic life skills. So it was developed in Canada, and it's come to Australia, and we love it. Yeah.
That sounds great. Well, again, congratulations on today, and I guess thank you to all the different service providers. There's quite a few tucking into pulled pork burgers at the moment, which just look fantastic. I was in the kitchen earlier on talking with Nicole and her team, and everyone's having a feed at the moment, so it's a good thing. Well done today. Thank you very much, and thanks for talking with us. Cheers.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah.
Now, I've got to say that seeing and talking with some of the people here today, and with Daryl and his wife Chelsea and Nicole in the kitchen and all the volunteers here at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham, they've really been the wind beneath our wings in the community for a lot of years, and thank God for the Salvos, as they say. It's just amazing. But all the different groups, and I haven't spoken with everyone here today, unfortunately, but from Anglicare and St Pat's and the NDIS and the Healing Smiles and the Warnbro vets and Vinnie's and everyone I've chatted with. It's been a wonderful day. Now I'll be handing back to Alan in the studio in just a few minutes, but until then, one from Bobby McFerrin. Don't worry, be happy. Okay, this is IPL Radio outside broadcast at the Salvation Army Centre at Rockingham. Now, we're done here. It's just gone 12 o'clock and I'm about to throw back to Alan in the studio. Thank you for everybody who is joining us today and listening in to our interviews. We will be posting those on our website or on Facebook, so you will be able to listen to them again in the future. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and I'll hand over to Alan. G'day, Alan, and I hope you pick us up in a few seconds. See you, folks.